So if I was a 12-year-old girl, 13, I think knowledge is power, and I'd want to know as much as I could about the possibility of my health, my sexual health. And when I was 12, I didn't know a lot about this, so therefore I didn't have a lot of information, but now we do, and every year they're learning more and more about this virus and how it affects, and I feel if we know about it, why don't we talk about it? And I think by talking about it, it doesn't make it so scary. Because I know, like, the first year I found out, I didn't talk about it with anybody, and that was really scary. And since I've talked about it more in the last 3 years, it's sort of like released this tension, this like, I'm an alien with this disease, and I know I'm not, because I know it's a really big thing out there. And I think this vaccination, if anything, it's springing conversation about it. And if I have a daughter, I would want her to be talking about it, and I want her to get the vaccination, because nobody should have to deal with this if they don't need to. My name is Mary Irwin, and I'm 27 years old. Moved to New York this last July from Portland, Oregon. I am living here with 2 girls, and one is in grad school. The other is beauty editor, and I am trying to do some theater here in New York. I work at Tao Restaurant, and currently in a class to try and get some monologues together and do a little theater here in the great New York City. So he's Puerto Rican, right? And he's dark, and his last name is Sorullo. So when people ask him, he always says Sorullo, because he says he wants to work in business in Wall Street, and then nobody wants to hire a Sorullo. So I be telling him, Manny, that's your last name, you can't do that. And he be getting angry at me, like, that's my last name. That's how it's pronounced. And like, you got it easier than me, Blanca, because you're lighter than me, because you're a woman. First time I had an abnormal pap smear was my senior year of college. And when they said that, I didn't really know what it meant. They said they wanted me to come in for a colposcopy. Colposcopy is a more invasive pap smear where they take a biopsy of your uterus to see what the cells look like. The results of my colposcopy came back that I had low-grade HPV, and the sort of cure, if there was one, which there's not, was to just take care of yourself, to be healthy, to eat well, and to come back in 6 months for another pap smear and see what the results are. So what's so infuriating about HPV is that men cannot be tested for it. They're carriers. Women have a way to see that you have it by abnormal pap smears. But this is really frustrating because there's no way to know exactly who you got it from. Also because of the fact you can get it when condoms are used. And there's so many different strands of it, low grade, high grade, and you can't pinpoint it. It can be in your body for a year and not show up. And so you could have slept with somebody a year ago, used a condom, but then been with somebody monogamously without one, and you just have no idea, which is mostly infuriating for women because we have to deal with it, but probably also for guys a little bit like, I don't know what to do, especially since they don't have any symptoms a lot of the time, at least for the ones that are invasive for women. With abnormal pap smears, they don't have warts, there's nothing shown, which I think is why this disease, or this sexually transmitted disease, is one of the most frustrating ones out there. You can't take a pill, it doesn't just go away, you can't pinpoint it. There was only one time that I have not used a condom. That was my first time, and I learned from that experience and always used one after. And then the only other time I didn't use one was when I was in a committed monogamous relationship. So when it comes to regrets or what have you, sure, yeah, a couple of those notches, maybe I'd like to be erased, but at the end of the day, I think I do take care of myself. I'm not flippant, I get checked out, so a responsible woman that does go in and does get checked out, if ever it did progress to something scary, like cancer, it's a high level, that I'm going in and taking care of it, and therefore I'll be okay. If finally got so scared that I didn't want to deal with it, didn't want to go in, didn't want to have a pap smear and just not face it, that's when it gets scary. That's when it works itself into cancer. So for me personally, I mean, I know that I'm going to catch it. I don't feel like I'm going to get cancer and die and I'm never going to be able to have children, but I have to always think about in a year, gotta go in, let's cross our fingers that it's not positive, and I can just, not worry about it, not have to deal with if I get in a relationship, do I have to talk about it, do I need to bring it up, is it gonna affect kids, and I just have to kind of take it one pap smear at a time. And see.